Hi everyone, my name is Kayla and today I'm going to teach you how you can create your own handmade greeting cards. I have been paper crafting for about 15 years now. I started when I was still in high school and I first started out just making scrapbooks so that I could showcase all of my favorite memories with my family and friends. That eventually turned into making handmade cards, and that's where my passion was. I absolutely loved making handmade greeting cards and sending them to my family and friends. I have turned what was once just a hobby into my business. I've owned my own small business with my paper crafts for about 7 years now, and I've loved every minute of it. It is a true passion of mine, and I can't wait to share some of that with you and teach you how you can create your own greeting cards. So let's head on over to the craft table. All right, welcome to my craft table. The card that we're going to make today is going to be similar to this. It's not going to be this exact same card. We're going to change up the color a little bit. But this is just a super simple card. You can change out the greeting, so it does not necessarily have to be a birthday card. It could be a thank you card or whatever kind of card that you're in need for. So let's go ahead and show you the supplies that you're going to need to create this card. The first item you will need is a paper trimmer. This we will use to cut all of our pieces of paper as well as score it so it can fold easily. Speaking of paper, we will be using 3 colors in our card today. Now we have 2 full sheets of 8.5 by 11. I have one that's white and one that is a pink color. For now, we're going to leave these the 8.5 by 11 size, which is the standard size for paper crafting. You can get 2 full cards out of one sheet of the 8.5 by 11, which is awesome. We do also have 2 scraps here. These do not have to be a specific size. For our project today, these are about 5.5 by 3.5 inches. You will also need some sort of adhesive. My go-to adhesive is usually going to be liquid, and I'll get into more detail regarding why that is when we start gluing our project, but just keep that in mind. Another type of adhesive that we're using today are these. These are called dimensionals or pop-ups. They've got a bunch of different names, but these are awesome because they're pretty thick and they've got adhesive on both sides, so we can add dimension to our project and lift things up. They're really cool. We will be doing some stamping today, so I have 2 different stamp heads that we're using. This is the same color of paper that we have, and I do also have just a plain black one. You can use whatever ink pads you have on hand. It does not matter what colors. Use whatever you have. I am also going to be using a marker. Now this is the same color as the ink pad and the paper, so I do like to coordinate my cards, but like I said, you do not have to do that. One thing I always tell people when they are crafting, this is a quote that my grandmother taught me: do it your own wrong way. When it comes to crafting, there's no one right or wrong way to do something. So do whatever you want to do. It's your craft. It's your time to get creative. So you can do whatever you want. This is a stamp set that we are going to be using today. Now, one thing to keep in mind if you are going to do paper crafting and specifically card making, pay attention to the stamp set that you're buying and try and find one that has versatile sentiments. This one is very versatile and I love it. We have a thanks, hello, birthday wishes, hoping your day blooms with happiness, and you are simply the best. So it's not only birthday, you could use it for anything, which is one thing to keep in mind when you are buying stamp sets. This one in particular is called a photopolymer stamp set. So all of the stamps are completely clear. It makes it really nice when we start to layer our stamps, which we will be doing on today's card, and I'm really excited to show you how easy that it can be. The next thing that goes along with this stamp set are called acrylic blocks. This is what we put our stamps onto so that we can stamp it onto our paper. So let's go ahead and grab out the stamps that we're going to be using. For this card, I'm going to be using this stamp here. This is the outline of a vase. And all you do is peel it off and stick it onto your block. It does not have to be perfectly straight. The great thing about these blocks is they are clear, so you can change it. You can make it straight on your own. It definitely does help if you can get it straight, but it's not needed. Let's grab one more block. We are going to be using this one as well. So let's peel that off. If you have a stamp that's a little bit longer and doesn't necessarily fit on this block, one tip is to try it at an angle. See how it doesn't fit completely this way, but if we go at an angle, it fits perfectly. Okay, and we will need one more for the birthday sentiment right there. And I've got this nice skinny one here. And it is perfect for sentiments like this. And we can just go ahead and put that on here. Now, one thing to mention with these photopolymer stamps, they will dye based on the color that you're using, specifically red. Red and pinks do tend to stain your photopolymer stamps. It is completely natural. These are completely clean. Okay, there's that one. We do actually have just one more. And I've got one more block here. Now, you do not need to have as many blocks as I have, but because this is my business, I do have multiples of a lot of things. So I am just able to put one stamp on each block. However, what you can do is you can stamp one, clean this and take it off, and then put another stamp on, clean it, take it off, and so on. Let's go ahead and put this away. I also have these two pieces here. Now, if you are not familiar with paper crafting, you may not have any idea what these are, but these are called thinlits. These could also be called framelits. It just depends on the brand and what part of the world you're in as to what they're called. What these will do is these will cut our paper. So these have one side where it's popped up, and this is what is going to cut our paper. And this one actually has a stitching on it, so it doesn't fully cut. It more so just embosses or pushes the paper inward. So we are going to layer this oval on top of the scallop. It gives a good dimension. And this is the machine that we use with those framelits. This one in particular opens like this. And any die cutting machine that you buy that's similar to this is going to come with some plastic plates like this. And what we end up doing is making a sandwich with our framelit and our paper. And we crank this through and it will cut out the paper for us. Now, some die cut machines are electric, so all you have to do is push a button and it will automatically slide it in and out for you. And some more popular die cutting machines are attached to your computer and you can cut out specific shapes that way. This is a more manual where you use the framelit dies. Now that we've gone over all of the items that we need to create our card, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to do is cut our 8.5 by 11 pink sheet of paper down so that we can make it into one card size. So this can make 2 full cards out of this one sheet of paper, so we are just going to cut it completely in half. You can have your card go this way, which is the way that I have this card, so it opens like this. But the card that we're going to make, I'm going to have it open the other way so that you can see the difference. So with this paper trimmer, this opens and shuts like this, and you just slide your paper underneath. I'm going to move it down so that you can see the inches here. Now this is the 11-inch side, so half of that is 5.5. So line it up at the 5.5-inch mark. And this has a lip on this side, so you are able to have your paper completely straight. So this is a scorer. We will use this in just a minute. I'm going to get that out of the way. Let's put our clear plate down. And this is our blade. So we are just going to slide that up and it cuts our paper in half. So now we have 2 card bases. We can make 2 cards out of 1 sheet. This is called a scoring blade, and this will just lightly press into the paper to make it fold a lot easier. I like to do this with all of my cards, and this trimmer in particular comes with both the cutting blade and the scoring blade, which is really handy. So let's open up our paper trimmer again. Now this is the 8.5 side, so half of that is 4.25. So we line that up and we just gently push down. I like to do it a couple times just to make sure I'm getting a good crease in there. And here you can see that that just put a light indent, and it makes it a lot easier to fold our card in half. Okay, so let's go ahead and fold that, and it is absolutely perfect. So give that a nice crease here. Wonderful. All right, we are going to use the paper trimmer again, and we are going to cut down the white piece of paper. So let's look at our example again. I do have 2 sheets of paper on here. This is the main card base, and then this is a piece of paper on top of that. So that's what we're going to be doing with the white. There is just a small border around it. So we are going to cut the white at 4 inches. By 5.25. That will give us a nice border around our card. All right, we can move the trimmer. Bring our base back here and see how that just creates a nice border around the card. I absolutely love that. All right, now that we cut our base and layer, we're gonna go ahead and do some die cutting here. So I've got my die cutting machine. Now, like I said, your machine should come with some plates. Now, you always have to put the thicker one on the bottom and usually one of the clear plates. It does depend on the type of machine that you have, so definitely read the instructions if you do purchase one. So we are going to use our mint color here, and we are going to cut out the scallop oval. So what's nice is this base here lets you just place your plates down and not have to hold everything together. So that will go here. And this is our die. So like I said, there is one side that has a bevel, and that side you want to go down, right on top of your paper, like so. And then we're just gonna put this next plate right on top. And then we simply roll through. It is a tight squeeze. And like I said, they do make some of these where they are electric. So it makes it really nice for people who may have arthritis or any other conditions where it may make it harder to push the die through. So we can go ahead and take this off. Paper is a little staticky. And here's our oval. How cool is that? I absolutely love using these die cuttings. They are so much fun. And then I always keep my scraps. I know this is kind of a weird shaped one, but you never know what you can use this for. Okay, and then we are going to cut with the pink paper, and this is the one with the stitching on it, so it's gonna make a really cool stitching look. So again, we just put the paper down, bevel goes down on the paper, put the plate on top, and roll it through. I do like to go twice, so I roll it through once and then I roll it back to me, just to make sure I get a really good cut. And here is the stitched one. How cool is that? It's absolutely beautiful. All right, we can put this to the side. We are all done with the cutting. That is all we needed that for. All right, now we can go ahead and get some stamping done. So I'm just using the rest of the white piece of paper that we already cut, and we're gonna be doing some of the stamping. So here I've got my colored ink and my black ink here. We're gonna start with the black first. The lid just comes off like that. I usually keep it upside down as sometimes the ink gets all over. We don't want it on our work area. And then it's just a raised ink pad there. And we are going to come in first with our outline of the vase, and we are going to stamp that in black. So you just tap it, and I do a little twist as well. That just ensures that the entire surface area is getting ink. And we will go ahead and stamp that here. Perfect. Okay, next we will be using the design for our vase. We can go ahead and put the black away for now. We are going to be using the mint color here. This ink pad pops open, if I can get it, like this. So what that does is when you're storing your ink pad, it's upside down, so all of the juicy ink is on the top of the pad, ready to go instead of falling to the bottom. So we are going to do what is called a second generation stamp. Now what that is just a lightened version of this color. So we just get the ink on here and we are going to stamp off away from our vase. And here's what I mean where the stamps are photopolymer, they are see-through, so you can easily line up the design inside the outline. And there we go, a perfect vase. Okay, let's go ahead and close this up for now. We are going to use a pair of scissors here, and we are just going to cut out this vase. And a lot of crafters call this technique fussy cutting. Okay, so now that we have our cut out vase, we are going to put that down here, as we want enough space for our sentiment to fit there. Okay, so that looks good. So we are going to ink this up with the black. So again, just tap and twist, pretty easy. Okay, now just make sure you have it going the right way. And we're going to press that down. Beautiful. Now I'm going to show you something. If I did not like the way that this looked, which I'm okay with it, it's fine. There are two sides to every piece of paper. So you can just go in and redo it if you are not happy. So now I can take a look at which one I like better. I like this one better. My first one was good. Okay, we are gonna put that cap on just so we don't get all inky. Okay, and we are going to come in with this piece now. Now, one thing to point out with this particular card is I don't want to ink up the entire stem of this because it's a bit big. It would go into my words here. So I don't want to ink up much of the stem at all. So what I'm gonna do is just ink up the top. If you do ink up too much, it's easy enough. I just wipe it with my finger. But you can use a baby wipe or something like that. So, okay. Now I'm gonna put that top on. And let's bring in our base again to kind of see where we have to stamp our flowers. I want this down a little bit. Okay, so now I'm gonna move the base out of the way now that I've got my spot and stamp that here. I'll see how that didn't fully stamp on. So remember what I said, 2 sides to every sheet of paper. So let's flip that around and we're gonna do it again. So I'm only gonna ink up the top. Okay, let's double check and make sure that is all inked up. Okay, let's put our base there and our flowers will go here. Move the base. I'm gonna hold that for just a little bit longer than before so I can make sure it goes on all the way. Look at that, even better, perfect. And now our vase will go right there. Okay, let's get the ink out of the way. We are all done with the ink. Okay, we're gonna flip this upside down. Do you remember those dimensionals that I showed you? This is what we're gonna use to adhere the vase onto the pink. So these just come off and these are this shape and we're just gonna stick that right there. And then this just peels off like that. Now we can go ahead and put the vase down here and we've got a vase with flowers. Isn't that neat? All right. Now I'm not quite sure if I want to use this marker or not, being that it is on pink paper where my sample I did it on white. So because I had stamped on the other side and ruined it, I'm going to take the marker. Let's see, I'm going to use the brush tip here and I'm going to color in some of these just to see what it looks like, to see if I want to do it on the front of our card. Okay, let's take a closer look. I think I like it just with the black outline, so I'm going to leave it like this for this card. Remember, do it your own wrong way. There is no right way to do this. You make it however you want. Okay, now we're gonna layer this piece onto our oval. So we're gonna bring in our liquid glue here. And actually, I'm gonna glue this side. So a little bit of this glue goes a long way. Now that was probably too much, but that's fine. The great thing about liquid glue that I wanted to talk to you guys about is it allows you to move your project. This you can move for about 10 seconds before it actually dries and adheres. So it lets you get it in the perfect spot in which you want it. If you are using like a tape runner or something like that, it sticks immediately. So I always recommend using liquid glue. Okay, so how cute is that? I love it. All right, let's go ahead and move that more out of the way here. Let's get our base and layer. So this is how it's gonna start to come together. Now I did forget to grab out one of the stamps that I wanted. I want to use this little flower here. So let's grab that out. This one. This is really cute. And I've got a teeny tiny little acrylic block here. Now the reason why I use smaller blocks for smaller stamps is if I put this on one of these bigger acrylic blocks, it gives me more room for error. I could get ink all over the side of this and then it could actually get onto my paper, and I don't want that to happen. So I am going to put this here, and we are going to stamp these flowers just diagonally like this, but I want to have this here so I can kind of get an idea as to where I want to stamp. Let's bring in the rest of our scrap paper here. I did cut it a little bit, but I want this so that I can stamp off of my paper but not get it on my tabletop. Now I haven't decided what color I want to do yet, so I'm gonna I think I want to do the mint color to bring more of that out. Okay, let's go with that. It'll be beautiful no matter what we do. Okay, let's get the ink back here. Okay, so we just tap, 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 right? All right, so we're gonna kind of go off the paper here and just do a random pattern. Now I just move the cutting away so I can stamp underneath without getting this piece ruined. Okay, let's see how this is looking. Now I want to move this down so I've got this scrap paper. Okay, I'm gonna stop for now and see what that looks like. Okay, I think I need some right here. I just want to have it kind of even on both ends. I think I need just a couple, maybe one right here. Yeah, I think that looks good. Actually, just a couple more to even out. Yep, that's it. Okay, I'm gonna put it away before I do too much. Okay, let's get our scrap paper away. All right, now we can either put more dimensionals on this or glue it straight down. I think I want more dimensionals. So let's take more of these. I like to just grab what I need on all my fingers and just plop them down. Let's do one in the middle just to make sure it holds up well. There we go, push those on, and then these pieces just come right off like that. And then we're gonna flip this over and just put that down. Perfect. All right, we're gonna flip that over and come in with our liquid glue again. And we're gonna put some on our card base here. I like to get along the edges so that it has a good seal there. And then put some in the middle. Okay, now I'm gonna open this up. I usually like to open my card as I'm adhering it, so I've got more visibility. And we are just going to plop this down like so. Here's your card. We're done. That's all. It's very simple. So cute and so fun. Now I don't like to have a naked envelope. So I usually coordinate my envelopes to match my card. So I think I'm gonna do the little flower. So let's get our ink out again. And I'm just gonna do one little flower in the corner. And you can mail the envelopes like this. That's totally fine. Okay, this is our project. How neat. You can go ahead and put a piece of paper on the inside like this. Let me trim this and then I'll show you. Okay, so let's go ahead and just put this on here. Oh, these were my trials. Okay, see, that's a great thing. We've got two sides to every piece of paper. So I can still use it on this card and nothing will go to waste. What I like about this is if you have a darker card base like black or dark blue, it allows you to be able to write in the card. I've often stamped sentiments in the middle of this as well. All right, here is our project all done. That was a lot of fun. All right, so here is the card that we just made. All I would have to do is write a little message on the inside and I could send it in my custom envelope to a family or friend and they can enjoy a nice custom handmade card for their birthday. So thanks for joining me for this project and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Bye.